Welcome everybody to Who's Your Band. I am Jeffrey Paul. I am joined by Sean Morton. How are you, Sean?
Was I dozing for a second that you had to scream the intro?
Yeah, you know what? I just had a cup of coffee. I'm pumped. I'm psyched.
Are you? Are you
Not
really
really.
ready to go?
Not really. Not really, Sean. It's been kind of like a depressing day because the Jets lost in horrific Jet fashion.
Well, that's nothing you haven't been used to for your entire life.
I know, but you just buy into it, and they just find they find new ways, like the Mets. They find new
Yes.
ways to just just when you think they're out, they pull you back in.
You know
And
what it is? It's like being the child of an abusive father. It's like the father beats the shit out of you, and then he goes away for a little while and then comes back, and he buys you a puppy, and then he takes you to the park, and then he takes you shopping and toy shopping. You're like, oh my God, daddy's so much nicer. He's so much better. And then he fucking breaks your teeth open with one
that
punch.
well, that's pretty much the Jets.
Yeah.
But we are here today to talk about our year end, the
Yes.
year end edition of this show. This is like I think our third one, Sean.
21 second. Second. We
Okay.
started in January of 2021.
Yeah. So I mean, this is kind of becoming like an annual thing for us. And
Yes.
so before we get started with that, just quick concert review. This past week I went to go see Darlene Love at the St. George Theater.
Beautiful theater.
Beautiful theater, and she does like an annual Christmas run.
Hmm.
She'll start the shows in November and go through December. And this was the first time I got to see her on doing a Christmas show where she does Christmas Baby, Please Come Home, and Marshmallow World, and No One Ought to Be Alone on Christmas. And the thing is, she's 81 years old.
Oh shit.
She looks great. She
Mm.
sounds amazing. She hits the notes. She holds the notes. She has energy. I'm telling you, man, she is it's insane. Like I had to double check and see, look it up to see that she wasn't lying. But I mean, it's amazing how good the band was and how good she was in the songs. I mean, it's really a cool thing. A very, very tight show, 90 minutes, starts at 8:03. It's over by 9:33, in, out, does all the hits, does a little banter with the audience. Um, you can't ask for any more than that. What a great singer, though, John.
Yeah, she's amazing. I love a good Christmas show once in a while. I went to the Mariah one about 5 years ago, and I didn't go this year, but I saw Martina McBride's Christmas show, who's a country singer, very talented, and it was good. It was very, very good. It's festive, it's kind of like one of those concerts you take the whole family to. You're not going to take your whole family to go see Lamb of God and Slayer, but you'll take them to like a Christmas show.
Unless and you're ready for it, here it comes.
Yeah.
Unless you're the Manson family.
So this is our year-end episode, and Jeffrey has some lights hanging around his neck for the people who are only listening to the show when this is released, not
We're not
watching
even
the
going to
video.
acknowledge that joke.
No, no, I wouldn't. See, what I was going to say was I was hoping that he had some kind of hook hanging from his ceiling where he can drape that necklace around it and just do us all a favor.
Yes, I'm festive.
You're
I'm,
festive,
I'm
okay?
festive. I want to
Or
be
or autistic, one of the two.
probably both. So,
It's good they didn't have a spectrum in the 30s when you were growing up, right?
so let's get into this a little bit.
Let's
And
talk.
there are three categories I'd like to discuss with you.
Shoot.
And okay, so we are doing this because we usually film or tape these shows on a Sunday, and for the next couple of weeks, we have Christmas next week, New Year's the following week. So
Yes.
we'll be off for the next 2 weeks doing these shows, and then we'll be back in 2023 with a whole bunch of new shows. So this is our year-end show. We're going to wrap things up, and we've done this in the past before, and we're going to do it now. Let's talk about what we considered just our personal taste, our
Yeah.
top albums of 2022.
Okay.
And let me just start by saying, um, you may have a different opinion than me. And I was hoping Adam would come on because he also, I think, would have a different opinion than I do. But I didn't think this was a particularly strong year for new music.
Correct. I think
So
last year was better only because I think people were coming out of COVID and a lot of people were just home for 5 6 months and they were writing, just writing. Yeah, I think 2021 for me was a better year for music. There was a couple great standout ones for me this year, but I always put a post up on Facebook towards the end of December and I put like my top albums of the year. I looked at it in 2021, I had 14 albums, and
how
then
many do you have this year?
25.
Okay, so
I was,
so we are pretty much in agreement. I'm surprised
yeah,
because I only put four.
okay. And
So
I guarantee we don't have one the same.
I'm positive. I know one you're gonna hate of
Yeah,
mine.
I'm sure.
Okay, so what would you pick as your top five,
So
or the top album for you?
yeah, so number 5, I put Nickelback's Get Rolling.
I've
Uh,
heard good things about that.
so yeah, a lot of people shit on them, and it's just the cool thing to do. So here's what you got to remember: number one, Nickelback is a formulaic rock band. They know how to write a hit, and when you're a rock band, it's really kind of hard to write a great hit. Pop songs, you're always going to have pop writers, and sitting in a room with 15 people. But bands, you got to be a good band to really get a really monster hit. This is the number 4 selling rock band of all time, behind the Stones, the Beatles, Guns N' Roses, and then there's Nickelback. So they're doing something right.
They
They're
are
doing
doing
something
something
right.
right. I
You
mean,
know,
I think if people heard their catalog, they have more songs than you think that you're familiar with.
they can do an hour and a half set 2 nights in a row and not play the same song, and you'll have hit after hit after hit. So I went with Get Rolling. I wound up getting able to get tickets for their record release party, which was great. They the album top to bottom is a great rock record, and they started off with a single San Quentin, which was very heavy for them. It's a heavier song for them, and kind of busted it open a little bit. They have easily 5 or 6 singles on this record,
Yeah,
and
I like Nickelback as well, and
I do, man.
I
I don't. I'm
think
not ashamed to say it. I really
I'm
not.
not ashamed to say it. And I think I'll defend them because I think it's unwarranted. I think it's hack to
It
just
is.
just it's like you said, it's a simple thing. Oh, Nickelback sucks, or to make a Nickelback joke. They don't suck. They're a
They
good
don't at
band.
all. And here's the thing: go to a Nickelback show. You know what's going to happen? You got to have 6 women to every dude. So I'd rather go to that show and look around and like, okay, wow, there's some pretty hot chicks at this show. What am I going to do? Go to a Dream Theater show where there's 2 chicks in the whole fucking crowd and it's
I
all
would I
dudes?
would I would go to a Dream Theater
I've
show.
been to a Dream Theater show. That's why I'm saying it. There was 2 chicks at the whole show.
I
It's not
love Dream
fun.
Theater.
It's not. I do too. It's just not a fun show to watch. But yeah, that was number 5 for me.
Okay, I only have four on my list, and
Okay.
you may not like this one, but
Okay.
I'm gonna go in order. By the way, um, for my number four pick was Def Leppard's Diamond Star and Halos.
I didn't hear the album to be honest, so I can't shit on it. But I loved.
He just froze. Okay, I'll talk until he unfreezes. Well, until he figures out. Look at the dumb face on there, by the way, folks. So again, with this album, it's written in the style of Def Leppard. You froze for a second, Sean.
Yeah, I stopped talking. I figured you were talking. So
Yeah, I was gonna say, this album is written in the style of Def Leppard. It doesn't have any of the mega hits that say Hysteria or Pyromania had, but it has a lot of catchy songs, and some of the better songs on this past tour were songs from the new album. So I thought this, for 2002, this was an album that I didn't hate. I kind of enjoyed.
okay. I'm a country fan. I know you're not.
I'm
So
not
I
saying
try to.
I'm not. I like
I
country.
know. I know that's probably your least favorite out of like the main genres, right?
Well, give me my choices.
So rap, hip hop, country.
I'll put country ahead of all of them.
Okay, good. So one of my favorite bands is a band called Little Big Town. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Yeah, what am
It's
I? My first time doing music, of course.
okay. Well, I don't know because a lot of people, if you don't know country, all they know is like "Achy Breaky Heart" by Billy Ray Cyrus. No, there's a lot
Oh,
more.
excuse me. Is it 1995 already?
Yeah,
Achy
because
breaky heart.
these people still act like that.
Hmm.
Their album is called Mr. Sun, and it's a great record. I love this band. I've never seen them. They're a band that I'm dying to see. They're two chicks, two dudes. Their harmonies are amazing. They're absolutely amazing. And this one has a lot of good old fashioned country, but it has a lot of crossover pop country on it too, which is making them really, really big. But this, for me, it's a good, solid record, top to bottom. I don't. When I know it's a good record for me is when I just start at track one, and I don't like just put number 7 on or number 12. I start from the top and I just let it play through. So that's when I know it's a really good record for me. That was one of them. That came out earlier in the year.
I think that this band has won multiple Grammys as well.
Huge. They're a big band. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend to like be huge in country music, but there is a country I like, and I've heard this band, yeah, and they're okay to me.
Okay.
Okay, so my next choice for top albums of 2022, I like the Ozzy's Patient Number 9.
Ugh.
I know you don't like it, but the song with Beck and Iommi on it, and considering what else came out this year, I felt I had to include this on my list.
Okay.
And it's heavy.
It's a heavy record. It's just he should not be recording anymore. He should just be retired at this point. He really needs to. I mean, I don't know what he's trying to prove at this point. He has money. Just stop. You have Parkinson's on top of all of it. Please just go off into the distance.
I think it's just that it's Ozzy and it's just hard to let go. And yeah, I mean, is this up there with I don't know, Blizzard of Oz or Shot in the Dark, any of the classic stuff? No, it's not. It's not Diary of a Madman, but it's still Ozzy and it's still better than a lot of the stuff that came out this year.
I wrote a joke today, but it wasn't a joke. It was an actual. It's a true story. I took my dog to the dog park, and my dog's name is Sabbath. I named it after Black Sabbath, and she was all alone in the dog park until about 2 minutes before we're ready to leave. And this guy brings in his big poodle, and the poodle comes up, starts smelling my dog, and we introduce each other. And he's like, "What's your dog's name?" I go, "My dog's name is Sabbath." He goes, "Wow, that's hysterical. My dog's name is Ozzy."
Ah,
And I said, "All right, that's pretty cool." I said, "Wow, what if a little Italian greyhound walked in and called Dio? I'm going to go buy a fucking lottery ticket."
yeah. And what if someone came in with a dog named Tony Martin?
So my number 3 record.
Testing Sean's patience today. He froze again. Stupid face. Look at his face, folks. It's so dumb. Okay, so he doesn't like Patient Number 9, but let me talk a little bit about that until he unfreezes. Okay, Patient Number 9 could be the last the album that'll come out. Okay, you done? Yeah, you froze again.
Okay.
Okay, I'm just saying
this
Patient Number 9 could be the last. It doesn't want to finish my thought. This could be the last Ozzy album that comes out. So, folks, if you get a chance, take a listen to it. Go ahead, Sean.
Don't buy that record. Number 1. Number 2. One of my favorite bands. Okay, this is my number 3. It's a great band that I love. They're called Dropkick Murphys. Okay, now I know you listen to them, you like them. They're a good band. Worst song they ever did. Worst song.
Yeah, it's in every fucking movie.
I hate it. It's my least favorite Dropkick song. Okay, so this album is called "This Machine Still Kills Fascists." Now, here's the reason why I love this record. So now, if you've listened to The Departed, you've heard how Dropkick sounds. They're an Irish band. Okay, they have the banjo players and everything like that. This is a different record. It's acoustic, number 1. And they are big fans of Woody Guthrie. Okay. They're big fans of Woody Guthrie. They became friends with Woody Guthrie's daughter through his estate and everything. And she was a big fan of them. She handed them a book and said, "This is all my father's lyrics that were never used. There's tons of songs in here, but he never recorded anything, never wrote any music. These are all just lyrics of his. We want you to take this book and see what you can do with it." So
why did she pick them?
She's a fan of them. She's a big fan. They're big Woody Guthrie fans. So she handed them a whole book of her father's lyrics, and they wrote all the music behind it, and it became a Dropkick record, which I think was one of the coolest things that I've heard. I mean, I love telling stories about like these little weird things with music.
So what's the album called?
This Machine Still Kills Fascists.
Okay, and is it billed as a Dropkick album, or is it Dropkick and Woody Guthrie album?
Dropkick and Woody Guthrie. Yeah.
So interesting.
It's Dropkick, but they freely say the lyrics are all by Woody Guthrie. This is our interpretation of how his lyrics would have sounded if we did the music for it.
And they were big Woody Guthrie fans.
Yeah, yeah, the big Woody Guthrie fans, and it's a solid record. Again, none one of those records. It's only a half an hour long too. It's like 10 songs, half an hour long. I play it at least twice, 3 times a week.
Okay, cool.
Dig it. I really dig it.
You dig it. All right. Um, for me, I thought was a heavy album from this band. Alter Bridge, Pawns and
Mm.
Kings. He froze again. All right. Yeah, for me, I thought this was a real heavy album. I love this band. And if you're not familiar who Alter Bridge is, these are the guys from Creed and Miles Kennedy. Um, great band. They're heavy. But I thought this was particularly like a little heavier than past Alter Bridge albums. So I really do kind of enjoy this, and this was a nice surprise for me in 2022.
Yeah, and you've never seen them live, correct?
I've never seen them live.
You are going to be happily surprised seeing them live. They're a really tight band. Again, if you know who Alter Bridge is, it is Miles Kennedy singing, but it's Creed as their background as the band.
I
It's
just I
just
just
Creed
mentioned
with
that to this audience.
you
Yeah,
know, it's just Creed with a different fucking band with a different singer, but Miles changes everything. And I liken it to kind of like when Audio Slave was out. It's Rage Against the Machine, but it's Chris Cornell singing. And it's the same band, but the new singer completely changes the sound of that band.
100%, 100%.
You
And
know,
for
and
those of
they're
you who are not familiar with Miles Kennedy, he's also the singer in the Slash's band, The Conspirators.
correct. And did you know that Miles is actually Slash's guitar teacher?
Yeah, he's a great guitarist. He could
Amazing
he
guitar
could
teacher.
he could be a lead guitarist in any band he would be in,
Absolutely,
except for
absolutely.
that band.
Right, because Mark Tremonti's a monster. And if you don't know, Mark Tremonti's also a great singer as well.
Like he is.
He puts out a solo album once every year or two, but he also just did an album of all Frank Sinatra songs.
And it's it's as weird as and it's funny that because we're in the season, but Scott Weiland made a Christmas album and he put out a video for Winter Wonderland and he looks different in it. The album you would never think it was Scott Weiland, but it's like it kind of sounds like Harry Connick Jr. Meets Michael Bublé. Okay.
Bublé?
Yes, Michael Bublé. Michael Bublé. That's what it sounds like to me. Okay, so Gatron, you have another one coming up. And he freezes. Look at the face, folks. Look at his face. He's in mid stupid thought in that face. You just want to go over to him and just start pinching his legs. That's what you feel like doing. Okay, Trin, you froze again. Stupid.
Yeah, my internet connection is horrible in here, and
Is
I have
it
to read.
is it horrible? It only froze three
Yeah,
times during this show.
yeah,
And we're
I
5 minutes in.
understand. I understand. I bought a house with cement walls, and I don't get connection. So, all right. So my
You
number
can't
one
get
and
these
two
things
albums.
called a router.
Yeah, I have a router. It's upstairs, which is why I can't get fucking reception.
Mm.
Okay, so my top album is a tie. I could not pick, and it's from two totally different styles of music. The first is Lamb of God, Omens. I've always been a Lamb of God fan for the last 20 years or so. There's I always feel, and I've said this before, there's a progression in heavy metal where you start with Sabbath and then you go to Iron Maiden and Priest, then you take over Metallica, and then it went to Pantera, and then for a long time there was nobody after Pantera to hold the fucking baton. Lamb of God is the next band that does that for heavy metal. This album is fucking brutal from the first song to the last. It's some of the best lyrics he ever wrote, the best singing Randy Blythe has ever done. The Mark Morton, their guitar player, is on fucking fire on this episode, on this album. That's one of my number ones, and the other one,
He freezes. He freezes like right on cue. He got us all built up to this point, and stupid Sean freezes again.
he's a
No, you just froze. You told us
okay.
who you tied with. Who you tied with?
Oh, Luke Combs doing this. So Luke Combs is a country guy that I love. I went to see him at Mohegan Sun. It was a great concert. This album, again, top to bottom, he's a hit machine, this kid. If you look at his story, you know, he had 4 songs he handed to his A&R person at the label, and when he first came out, and they said these are horrible songs, these are not going to hit. All 4 songs went to #1 for multiple weeks at a time. He's a machine. He's probably the biggest country guy in the world right now. I mean, people always say like Garth Brooks was like gigantic in the 90s.
Gigantic,
He's like
yeah.
one step below it. Just sold out Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia in an hour and a half. That's
Wow.
75,000 tickets he sold
Yeah.
out in an hour and a half. Which he's absolutely amazing, and he's very humble. He's down to earth, but he writes a great country song. He's that perfect mix of like pop country and old school country.
Nice. Nice. All right. So for me, my top album of 2022 was a band I saw right at the beginning of 2022, and this album was just about to come out. It's called Back from the Dead, and it's by Hailstorm.
Good
Um,
album.
I am a huge Hailstorm fan. I love her voice. I love the band. This is a band that I could see in 2023 taking the next step. I mean, we saw it at the in the middle of this year where they were supporting Evanescence at the
Mm-hmm.
start of the year, and then they went out and they headlined By the Summertime. And I think a
Yeah,
lot of it is on support of this album.
it's a
Uh,
good record, and they just actually Friday, like a couple days ago, they just put out the deluxe version with 8 extra songs on it too.
yeah, so and anyone who knows Hailstorm, her voice is insane. When they do covers, they're better than the originals. So it's a band that I really, really love. So those are our top. Again, in no particular order, really. Though it was our top albums of 2022, or it wasn't in order, but that's what we picked. All right, so let's change topics here, and let's talk about the top tours of 2022. Top, and when I say top tours, we're talking top grossing. Okay,
Okay.
and what I mean by top grossing is money being brought in. Couple of interesting things. This is the first year since 2019 where the touring year went relatively uninterrupted. This was as
Mm-hmm.
back to normal as we've been. So if we're going to compare the last non-interrupted year, which was 2019, touring is up 13%. And this is all according to Forbes. Okay.
Okay.
Overall, the industry brought in $2.8 billion in just tour sales. Okay. 2023, they're expecting Taylor Swift to almost bring in $1 billion just on her own.
She broke Ticketmaster.
Yeah, that's gonna be monster. The most according to StubHub, the most in-demand ticket was Elton John, but
Okay.
it was not the top grossing tour of 2022.
Can
So
I
Sean,
guess? Can I guess?
well, Sean, would you like me to go from number 10 to number 1, or would you like to go number 1 down?
I want to guess
All right,
#1.
see if you can guess the top 10.
All right. I'm going to say that the biggest tour, and I'm only saying this because I've seen videos of it, and I'm not a fan, but I don't hate the person, is Bad Bunny.
That would be 100% right. Now, for those of you who don't know Bad Bunny, he's a Latin artist. My son went to go see him in September. He drove down from Hartford to go see this artist, and he played Yankee Stadium. I just want to make a comparison here. So you have Bad Bunny, number 1, at 7.3 $373.5 million. Number
Wow.
2 was Elton John at $334.4 million. Now, here's the difference, though. It's how many shows does Bad Bunny have to play to earn that money compared to Elton John? Bad Bunny could be playing 60 shows while Elton John could be playing 12 shows
I
and
don't
okay, and
I don't
still
think
be.
so. I don't think so. They're both playing stadiums at this point.
They are.
So
Bad
I think they're probably I would say that Elton's playing more shows than Bad Bunny is.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I
Again,
do. I really think
again,
so.
according to StubHub, the most in demand ticket was Elton John's farewell Yellow Brick Road tour.
I sold my tickets for Elton John on StubHub.
There you go. So go ahead now. Try and see if you can round out the top 10.
I can't say it how it's going to be like in order.
You don't have to give me an order.
All right. So you got Bad Bunny. I'm going to say that Motley Crue Def Leppard tour was probably on that list too.
It came in at number 8 at
Okay.
173.5 million.
Wow. Okay.
stadium tour. And
Um,
again, they played what, maybe 3 shows a week,
I don't even think it's that much. Probably two.
right?
Probably two.
Okay, so again, to be on that list, that's pretty good. They played 60 shows in total. That's what it was.
Okay.
Over the summer, they played 60 shows in total, with each band flip flopping.
I'm gonna say Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish was not even the top 20.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Um, one of my favorites, and I get a lot of shit for saying this too. I'm gonna go with Harry Styles.
Harry Styles number 4 at
Okay.
$214.4 million. Well, he's a monster. I mean, how many consecutive nights did he play at Madison Square
15.
Garden?
15
15.
nights at
I
the
mean,
Garden.
it's almost unprecedented,
Right.
So I
I've
mean,
always I've
I don't
always said that he is this generation's David Bowie.
yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know if
Well,
he
I don't even mean musically. I mean like how his music is kind of transcended to different genres and how he's very in the pop culture eye like Bowie was with being kind of androgynous and things of that nature. The kid is super, super talented. Really
yeah,
is talented.
yeah, I'm not denying it. I am far from a fan. I
Mm-hmm.
try to listen to him a little bit. It's not for me, but I know I'm not the target audience, but I know people who love this guy. So
Okay.
yeah, but okay, so you got Bad Bunny, we got at number 1, we got Elton John at number 2, we got Harry Styles at number 4, and Def Leppard, Motley Crue, the Stadium Tour at number 8. So we still got
Okay.
6 more to go.
So I'm thinking about like when I get emails for tickets, you know what I mean? So I'm trying to think of like really think back to all the shows I was trying to get. I would say Adele. Adele was doing that residency in Vegas.
Yeah, but again, this is based on gross ticket sales.
Okay, so she
So
didn't make the list.
she did not make the list.
Hmm. Uh, who else had that big tour? Coldplay.
Excellent. Number
Coldplay.
5. And again, this is the fifth, and only 5 bands hit over $200 million. Coldplay is one of those bands that coming in at 208 million. Yeah,
Hmm.
they are a huge stadium act now.
Yeah, I never would have thought that. Never would have thought it when I first saw them coming out.
Me neither, but you know what I always say? It's kind of like Dave Matthews Band. I look at them as lawyer music. When you dress up on casual Friday and you're
Dude
wearing
rock.
wearing a Hawaiian shirt and khakis, that's usually what's playing in the background.
Yeah, I always say it's the guys who wear the flip flops, and and anybody goes, "Hey, anybody got a bottle opener?" And they take their flip flop off, and on the bottom they're like, "Yeah, man, right here." That's the kind of people that listen to those fucking
That's
shitty acts.
exactly it. Okay, so
Uh,
so we're about halfway done with the list now.
all right, so then I'm gonna go another stadium act that I haven't seen, but I think I might. Kenny Chesney.
Excellent. See, I didn't think you were going to get that one. He comes in at number 9 at 135.
Kenny's a
Yeah.
monster act, man. But he's kind of taking like you're talking about the Hawaiian shirt thing. He's the next Jimmy Buffett. He was a monster country guy for a long time, and then like he had a couple like poppy hits, and then he kind of changed his sound a little bit. So he's kind of like that chilling on the beach kind of vibe thing now. He's huge. And I follow him on Instagram and Facebook and stuff. And like when you see him playing stadiums, and he every day he takes a picture at the stadium with the football team, the helmet of the football team that he's playing at the stadium for. So it's like when you look at it in like that perspective, like he only fucking plays stadiums
Well,
at this.
it sounds like it's a good time. Again, I've never went to go see a Kenny Chesney concert. I wouldn't be opposed to actually going to see Kenny Chesney. I kind of like that good time music. I like anything that's live. I like anything that's weird. It's real music, not with tracks. So I enjoy that. Okay, so we're rounding up this list. You're missing a big one, and I know you're a big
I know what
fan.
it is. I know what it is. I know what it is. I know I'm not a fan. I
You
like the
are a
stuff,
fan.
but
You're a big fan.
Genesis.
No, they're up
Genesis.
there. No. They did do good business. They're top 20 this year, but they're not top 10 grossing.
Hmm. Okay, who was it?
Ed Sheeran at number 3 at
I
coming
didn't
in
get there yet.
big money, man. 246 million.3. That is
I
huge.
got. I have tickets to see him in June of next year. I saw him at the Barclays Center about 5 years ago. Now, if you know Ed Sheeran, you know that he is an acoustic act and he plays everything on a loop machine. So you've been to the Barclays Center. I know you're a Brooklyn Nets fan, and you've been to concerts there.
Mhm.
I saw him, just him on a stage with a guitar and a loop pedal machine. And within 10 seconds, he had every.
And there he goes again. This is like either 5 or 6, but I think he's told the story on this podcast before. But yeah, so far in our top 10 grossing tours of 2022. I don't know why I'm stuttering here. Is Bad Bunny, Elton John, Ed Sheeran, Harry Styles, Coldplay. Okay, have not identified number 6. We have not identified number 7. Number 8, Def Leppard, Motley Crue. Number 9, Kenny Chesney, and we have not identified number 10. Sean, you froze again. Okay.
I'm gonna go. Let me think here, Jack. All right, I'm gonna go out on a limb. I don't like this band. I know they're popular. I'm gonna go with BTS.
No, I don't know if they toured enough in 2022.
Okay.
You know, let me just give it to you. Okay, let me fill out the list here.
Let's hear the rest.
Okay, so number 1 we had Bad Bunny. Number 2, Elton John. Ed Sheeran, 3. Harry Styles, 4. Coldplay, 5. Here's a band that plays twice a week. The Rolling Stones.
Yeah,
that's it.
Pretty much.
They'll do a midweek show and they'll do one weekend show, and that's it. That's all they're doing at this point. But they come in at the number 6 grossing tour for the year. It's still amazing. In fact, today is Keith Richards' 79th birthday.
And he died 14 years ago. No one told him.
That's right. No one's made that joke either. 14 times. Yeah, but it is kind of amazing that, you know, this band just keeps going and have really lost no steam. They come in at $179.3 million. At number 7, this was a big tour over the summer. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Never saw them live.
Coming in at 177. Yeah, that was a big tour. I think they had some pretty good support acts on that tour as well. They had the Strokes.
Okay.
And I think there was a couple of others. But yeah, that was a big tour. Number 8, like I said, the stadium tour with Def Leppard, Motley Crue. Number 9, Kenny Chesney, and number 10, The Weeknd.
Really, I love The Weeknd. I didn't think he'd be top 10, but listen, you gotta give me credit. I picked out like 5 or 6 of these fucking things.
You did great, and the ones you picked I thought were pretty tough. Especially, I didn't think you were going to get Coldplay, and I didn't think you were going to get Kenny Chesney. So you did fine.
Yeah, you know what it was? Because I was looking at the same article that you were, and I was just reading them off.
Well, what he did was I looked at a couple of different articles on this, and I thought was the most current, the one that was printed in December, not the one that was printed in August, where you would have had Genesis, stupid.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So let's talk
upcoming tours.
You know, before we wrap this up, and let me throw these tours at you and tell me what you think. And again, no order.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Here's the first one. I know this is a show that you're going to want to see. Pink, Pat Benatar.
Yeah, I love them. Absolutely love Pink. I've been a fan of hers since she was a rapper, because she was a rapper at one point and then turned her career around. I love her. I think she's fantastic. I think she's on the level of Lady Gaga. I really do. I think her voice is grossly underrated. And she's doing the tour with Pat Benatar, but it's every other show. So she's doing with Brandi Carlile too, and Brandi Carlile is a very, very underrated act. She's been around.
I thought all 3 of them are going to be on the same bill.
No, there's certain days where Pat's opening, and there's certain days where Brandi Carlile opens.
Oh, I did not know that. Well,
it's like I want to see Pat Benatar, but the closest show is Boston. So at the Citi Field show, it's Brandi Carlile who's opening up. So
what about Philly? Are they doing a Philly show?
No, Boston and New York, I think. If they are doing Philly, Brandi Carlile was opening, because I was trying to get the Pat Benatar show. I think it's a great tour. Pink is a very, very huge stage presence too. She always has like the big kind of theatrical performances where she's swinging in the air and stuff like that.
Did she sell out a stadium?
Yeah, big time.
You think so?
Big time.
Okay.
Not a football stadium. She's going to do the baseball stadiums, because you can tweak ticket sales a lot more with a baseball stadium than you can with a football stadium.
Why is that? Sometimes they're
because
a little smaller though.
It's much smaller. So
Is it?
if you have just say like if you're playing in Ohio at where Ohio where the Ohio State plays, right? That's 100,000 seats more.
Right,
Luke
right.
Holmes sold it.
Even
Luke Holmes sold that out.
yeah, even the Browns stadium is about 90,000, and
Yeah.
and where the Guardians is about 40, 45.
Yeah, so they don't sell out those big monster stadiums. The baseball stadiums, you can have the field, you can have the stage kind of like in center field, and then you have a little bit of stage on the grass, and then you can sell the rest of the baseball, the whole crowd and shit.
Mm,
You probably sell about 35, 40,000 instead of selling 75,000 like Taylor Swift's gonna do.
right.
Still a great, still a monumental a monumental thing, but it's just not as many
she'll
tickets.
Taylor Swift not only will sell out those stadiums, she'll sell out multiple nights.
Oh,
But it's
absolutely.
but it's not on anything that I want to see. Another tour that I'd like to see is ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner touring with Uncle Kracker.
I will absolutely be at that show with you.
Yeah, these are legends.
Oh yeah, I will tell you, I've seen ZZ Top live before. They're very good. Uh, I will tell you that they were at the Willie Nelson's 70th birthday party that I saw at the Beacon Theater, and they got booed off the stage because they were the biggest divas out of the whole 90 people that were on that freaking show. They refused to go on until they were perfectly tuned. Right? Yeah, really fucked up.
Billy
Um,
Gibbons, man. He's a
yeah,
perfectionist.
he is a perfectionist, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to the ZZ Top show. I've seen Skinner before. It's really like one dude left, but it's great to hear the songs.
It's the brother singing. He sounds good, and you're right. It's a song. Like in a couple of years from now, Kiss still continues to go on, and they will go on with no original members.
Sure. You know what? If he was smart, he would have trained his kid to play bass.
Right.
His kid's like 7 foot tall and he looks just like him too. So if he was smart, he would have did that. But there's another tour that I'm looking forward to. I'm hoping I get tickets. Is Metallica?
Well, I have that on the list here. That's Metallica, Pantera, Mammoth. This is a massive tour. It's a show that's in the round. You just
Yeah.
talked about playing in a football stadium. They're gonna play in a football stadium in the middle of the field. And so they're going to be able to sell all around them. And it's a very different tour because they're doing multiple nights in these stadiums with different set lists and
Yep.
different opening acts.
Right, but you had to buy both nights for the show. That's the kicker that pissed me off, and I didn't buy them. But January 20th, probably when the show is going to be released, is that when they're going to announce the single ticket sales, the single day sales, and then I'll get the tickets to go see Pantera because that's the only reason I'm going.
If that's the only reason why you're going, then you did the right thing by waiting because
Yeah,
tickets will always become available. This isn't ticketing like it was 10 years ago. This is that that specialty ticketing. They put tickets out very high, and then they gauge the demand.
yep,
And you could be at a show where the guy sitting next to you paid, $230 and you paid $60 for the same seat.
When I saw Luke Combs, I got them directly from the guy who works at Mohegan Sun. My tickets were $94 a piece. The guy in front of me paid $650 a ticket.
There you go. Because what these arenas don't do, I mean, it's not very often when you go and you see tons of empty seats. These arenas will give out basically free tickets. And if they're not, if the arena is kind of empty, that means they couldn't even give the tickets away. Okay, because you're hoping to make money on the concessions, you're hoping to make money on the merchandise, okay, and just getting people in the building. Okay,
Right.
the parking. There's a lot of different ways to make money as opposed to just like no one showing up. So again, folks, if you see no one, you see rows and rows and sections not filled, they couldn't give the tickets away.
Yep.
And another I think did you get tickets for this guy? Did you get tickets for Springsteen?
Oh yeah, I got tickets for Springsteen.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
first time
My
in
first
years.
car didn't fucking cost as much as what I paid for these tickets.
Have you ever seen him before?
Oh, this is my 13th or 14th time seeing him.
Okay, I mean, listen, it's Springsteen. He's he's in his early 70s, but still looks great, sounds great, and you're going to see a real rock legend. I mean, this is you can't pass up on this one.
No, I can't. And I got amazing seats for this concert. That's why I paid a little more. I got upper level, the 100 section at the Prudential Center, but I have right alongside the stage, and I have first row.
Oh, perfect.
So
That's
no one's
beautiful.
going to stand in front of me. I'm going to sit and watch the whole show. I don't know if you heard what he's doing too for the show. He's doing 31 shows, and they're recording the shows instantly. Within 15 minutes after the show is done, you can go downstairs and buy the audio copy of the concert.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
And again, why you put people in the building? Just different ways to make money. Not that Springsteen needs it, but this is the way these artists are making money these days.
Sure, you have to.
Mm-hmm. Another concert that I'm looking forward to this summer is Depeche Mode. First time in 5 years, but the first time the band is playing without Andy Fletcher, who passed 2 years ago.
Where are they playing?
They're going to be doing like arenas like Madison Square Garden. They'll do,
oh wow, okay,
potential. I mean, that's the kind of band that Depeche Mode is. Lots of hits. I don't know how long they're going to be around for. So I don't know if you've ever seen Depeche Mode.
No, I
really
like
cool.
them. I actually like their music a lot. It's just a band I've never seen. Now that I know that the guys aren't going to be there, probably won't go.
Well, you still got Dave Gahan and you still got Martin Gore.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of like a band that I feel that if the singer is there, that's all that really matters.
Well, he's there.
That's kind of what. So like maybe I'll go see him solo in a smaller place, but I wouldn't go out and see that.
You know what? Wait, see what tickets are going for like the day of, and if you can get a ticket for under $50, it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean that's different. I'm not going to spend like $300 a ticket to go see Depeche Mode. That's never going to
happen. I love this group, and I know you hate them, but it's the 50th anniversary of Journey with support act Toto, which is a great support act, and you're seeing some of the best musicians on the planet. No interest in seeing Journey with Toto.
No, I didn't freeze this time. No.
See, I'm looking forward to it. I think Journey has like all the hit songs. So does Toto. For me, enjoyable. So if you hated that, then you are really gonna hate this. This is
Foreigner show.
This is the farewell tour of Foreigner and Loverboy.
Oh God, are you working for the weekend, Jeff?
Maybe I will be.
You gonna wear your backwards hat to the show?
Maybe I will. Maybe I'll wear some shorts and flip flops, and I'll wear my cargo pants. And this time, this stupid face did freeze. But hear me out, folks, about Foreigner. First of all, you're going to go and you're going to know every song because they're such an album-oriented rock band. Okay, every song you guys are going to know.
Two good songs. They have two fucking songs.
A lot more than that. Kelly
Cold
Hansen,
as Ice, Hot Blooded, and I Want to Know What Love Is, and that's all they have.
No, Urgent Sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an idiot. Come on, it's urgent. Yeah. Well, just because you say it, it's a great song with a great sax solo. No, folks, you're gonna love it. Go see Foreigner. Kelly Hansen. They wound up is the singer. He's been in the band longer than Lou Gramm was, and they wound up re-recording pretty much the whole catalog. With Kelly Hansen. He is really good. The band is always tight. It's Jeff Filson, who used to be in Dokken. Sometimes what's his name? Jason Bottom plays drums for them, and you'll see Mick Jones, who's the founder of the band. So it's a good band. Loverboy, I heard, sounded great over this past summer, and it's the farewell tour.
Thank God.
And just sticking with this type of music. I'm looking forward to, as well as seeing the Bret Michaels Mardi Gras tour with.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I'm down for that show.
Oh yeah, Night Ranger, Jefferson Starship, and Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray, and Steve Aljari, who sang in Journey. So he'll do a couple of the Journey hits.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
It's supposed to be all these bands just going to do their greatest hits. It's supposed to be like a real good party type of show. This year it'll be at PNC, and they'll be playing like those 12 to 20,000 seat venues, all outside. This looks like it's going to be a real good time.
Yeah, I'm ready for that show. It's like on a Sunday in July, so it's going to be nice. It's going to be a good time. But that's also going to be one of those shows where we get there and buy lawn seats, and they're going to be like, "Hey, you want to upgrade? We can give you third row for $10 more."
Good,
because there's going to be nobody there.
You'll be seeing me in third row this year.
I can't wait. I'm actually looking forward to that show
Yeah,
too.
and I can tell you, I like Night Ranger. Brad Gillis in the band, Jack Blaze. You know, Brad Gillis we know played for in Ozzy's band, Jack Blades with Damn Yankees. These are great bands.
Damn Yankees is an amazing band. Sean
Agreed.
Blades and Ted Nugent in that band as well. That's a
Who's
fucking
Sean Blades?
Tommy Shaw and
Tommy
Jack
Shore.
Blades.
That's right, from
It's
Styx.
Shaw and Blades, yes.
That's right. Um, I don't know if you like either one of these bands, Sean, but
Okay.
I'm another tour that's starting early in the year is Skid Row Buck Cherry. And
Yeah.
you see, Skid Row, they have a new singer, and he's a young guy, and he could sing, and listen, it's not Sebastian. No one is going to be Sebastian Bach, but this guy brings an energy. You could see if you watch, just go on YouTube. Don't take my word for it. Go on YouTube, watch the way these Skid Row performs now. A lot more enthusiasm. They're just like there's an energy about them, and I think this is going to be a real good one. I think they're represented by the same management as while they're on this tour together. But I think this is a real good show. And just like Def Leppard and Motley Crue, they're going to be flip flopping who closes out the show.
Yeah, I mean, the new album's really good from Skid Row. I will give it that. I'm just a Sebastian Bach fan, even though he's a dick. Buck Cherry, I will never see again. I saw them in concert about 2-3 years ago. They were really bad, like really, really bad. And their crowd is not anything to look at. So think of it this way. When Buck Cherry came out 20 years ago, maybe 20 years ago.
No, they're more than that. They played at Woodstock 90 something.
Okay, so maybe 25 years at this
Yeah.
point. A lot of women used to strip to some Buck Cherry songs like Crazy Bitch and Lit Up.
Well, that's a big stripper song. That's
Yeah,
right.
and then so the problem is, Jeff, when you go see Buck Cherry now, the girls that were stripping there 25 years ago are going to the Buck Cherry show.
I'm not going to these shows to see strippers. I'm going to see the bands, the music, because you know what it is when you go to the shows. One, it really is kind of an escape, and two, you know, you can you remember the first show you ever went to?
Yes.
What show was it?
Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, and Stray Cats.
Wow, where was this?
Giant Stadium, July 4th, 1983.
And how old were you?
6.
You were 6 years, and you remember it.
Remember it vividly.
Yeah, see, when you go to these shows, I don't remember the people. I remember the smells. I remember like just the whole atmosphere. The first show I went to, December 16th, 1978. I was a little kid and I went to go see Kiss. It was the Kiss Alive 2 tour.
You were
And
30 years old and you drove your little cousins there.
yes, I took them. I was in my early 50s in 1978. All right, and I went and I haven't aged days since, but I remember like the smell of it. I remember, like you couldn't believe like, how, like how loud it was. And I remember the opening band was Piper, which was Billy Squire's first band. And it was like, wow, this is so loud. And then Kiss came on, and you could feel the heat of the flames, when with the fire.
I get that. I
Yeah,
get that.
it was just really, really, really cool. So when I go to see a show, I mean, I take in the whole experience. I don't care about people or women. I'm not going there to get laid. I'm going there to just enjoy the music and have a good time. And
Now,
yeah,
we talked about Def Leppard and Motley Crue. Now they're also touring again this summer.
that was the last band tour I had on my list. It was a Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and who's joining them? Alice Cooper. And we can't get through a segment without this idiot's internet freezing. But yeah, folks, what's good about this one and what makes it different? You froze again. I was asking, do you know who the opening act is for them?
Alice Cooper.
Alice Cooper, that's right.
Yeah.
But what makes this one a little bit more interesting is two things. One, now you're seeing not Def Leppard, you're going to see Motley Crue without Mick Mars. Now
Mars.
it's John 5. So I'm going to be very interested to see how that's going to be. And then also, I don't know if they're playing any outdoor shows, but I know
it's smaller theater. It's a
right.
Hard Rock in Atlantic City.
Yeah, right. I don't know if Alice Cooper's on that one. And I think,
Yeah, yes.
okay, well, then you have to go see that. I mean, to
Yeah, I've
see,
seen Alice Cooper.
but to
Amazing.
see Motley Crue, Def Leppard, and Alice Cooper in where are they playing? Which place in Atlantic City?
A Hard Rock Theater.
Are you kidding? I mean, that is,
7,006.
I mean, it's a home run. It's a
You want to hear something before we wrap this show up? I found out about Motley Crue.
sure.
So you know John Corabi was their singer for a long time, right? For 4 years.
That's right.
So he
Hooligan's Holiday
Hooligan,
was a
and listen,
very
that Motley Crue record is the best record they ever did, but no one
very
ever talks
underrated
about it.
song.
He said that Mick Mars has not played on a Motley Crue album or song since 1995. He played all the guitars. John Corabi played all the guitars on Generation Swine. So when they did this Red, White, and Blue, the greatest hits record, they had a couple new songs. DJ Ashba played the guitar on those songs. And
Wait, on that album, Sean, hold on a second. Time out. I don't think that's true because that what I love about that album, that greatest hits album, is they included a couple of new songs, and maybe my favorite Motley Crue song, "Primal Scream," is on there, and it is Mick Mars playing. You know, he's playing the slide guitar on it.
right, but he didn't record the song. He plays it live. He didn't record the song, and they're saying that
No, I
everything.
think he did.
Well, this is what I read in the last interview, and it's a decent interview, so I know it's not like some mom and pop bullshit. And he said that John 5 played on all of the Saints of Los Angeles record.
Was John Five in Nikki Six solo band
No,
6 a.m.?
that's DJ Ashba who
Yeah.
played the songs on the other one. John 5 was
See,
always a Rob Zombie.
that that album was supposed to be a 6 a.m. album.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when they had to put out this other album, and they really basically took those songs and made it a Motley album. So I could believe that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Saints of Los Angeles is an amazing record. I think it's one of their better records.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a solid record.
100%. It's going to be interesting if they record anything new with John Five.
I think they will.
But it's gonna that's gonna be kind of interesting because I was disappointed by the stadium tour only because I didn't think any of these bands were stadium acts. But I think when you take them inside, I think it's a different ball game. I mean, Def Leppard, the last time I saw them before the stadium tour, they opened for Journey on a co-headlining tour.
Mm-hmm.
So that night they happened to go on first, and Journey couldn't follow them. They were just that good.
Yeah, I saw them live at that Prudential Center with Poison, and it was one of those shows where it did not sell well. I had upper level seats, and they were like, "No, anybody who has 200 section, please come to the guest services area." And I'm like, "Oh shit!" And they moved us down all the way to like the floor because they had a curtain off the entire top of the section.
Crazy.
Yeah, I hear you.
What's this this past year? You know, again, they didn't make the list, but and these, great bands, Judas Priest and Queensryche toured together.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they were playing, they played Prudential, they played Nassau, they would have to curtain it off, and they was selling about 10,000 a seat, a venue, as opposed to 18.
Sure.
So
it's hard to be an act like that because you don't want to play a smaller venue like a Hammerstein Ballroom where you're only selling 4,000 or 5,000 tickets, but you can't sell a full arena at the same time.
Especially when it's a special anniversary tour.
Yeah, big time. You need to have that like fully sold. That's where you have to get good promotion too. You have to have good promotion, and you need to have. Look, I like Queensryche, but they're not going to add to ticket sales for a Judas Priest tour on there. So what you do is,
I would Jeff Tate in the band.
But you take a band like Ghost. Take a band like Ghost on the road with you if you're doing like your 50th anniversary tour.
Is Ghost going to open up for
Judas Priest at this point? Absolutely. Absolutely, they would.
A couple of years ago, Priest was on Deep Purple's 50th anniversary tour. And I was there, and Priest clearly was the bigger act. People went to go see him because by the time that show was over, I would say 2/3 of PNC had already cleared out, and Deep Purple could not follow Priest,
Really?
but Priest went on as a support act because out of respect to the longevity of Deep Purple, because they were there before Priest.
That's interesting. I will say this before we wrap up. If you want to, if you're a good lover of documentaries like I am, I know you like a good music documentary too. I implore you to go on to Showtime On Demand and look at the Dio documentary. They put out a documentary on Ronnie James Dio from the very beginning, from the 50s, when he was like a pop singer, all the way to the end. And there's interviews with everybody and their mother. I watched it 3 times. I just love it so much. I'm a huge
But you
Dio
still
fan.
don't think he should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Come
Maybe
on.
maybe after watching this, it may have swayed me a little bit.
There
It
you
may have
go.
swayed me, but it's a brilliant documentary, and it's a lot of fun to watch. And when you see how like even insecure he was, still being in the biggest band, the biggest metal band of all time, and he had to fight. He had to really fight and claw his way to get some notoriety, and it only happened really with Dio, his own band.
He only did 2 albums with Sabbath,
Yeah,
but I gotta say, man, I think those 2 albums are in my top 5 Sabbath albums of all time.
yeah. Heaven and Hell is definitely.
Heaven and Hell could be number 2, number 3.
I say Heaven and Hell. I said this the other day. I think Heaven and Hell, it might be the best heavy metal song that was ever written.
It's great. It's one of the best riffs of a heavy metal song
It
ever
really
written.
is.
And think about this. This is why I obsessed upon as a kid. Uh, think about the first time you put on Heaven and Hell, because the first great album cover.
Mhm.
Okay, when album covers fucking meant something, and you didn't look at it as a thumbnail on your phone.
Right.
Okay, you open up that record, and the first songs you heard was the opening riffs of Neon Nights,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" And I got to tell you, from that first song, I didn't know who Dio was, but
Really.
I was hooked, and I was like, "This is." I loved it. And then I just became a massive Dio fan. And like all my apprehensions of what Sabbath was going to be was put asleep, man, because I just knew they were going to be great again. And and what was great, it really helped both their careers, because
Sure.
then in the summer, Ozzy came out with Blizzard of Oz,
Yep.
and that was just, equally as great.
Because
The
Sabbath had some stinkers. You know what I mean? Towards the end, there was a
Well,
couple
yeah, I mean, Never Say Die wasn't
horrible.
Technical Ecstasy,
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
also not up in their top albums. So those were 2 in a row, and Ozzy was kind of falling apart. But then when he takes some time off, he gets fired from the band, winds up getting his act together a little bit, puts together this insane band, okay, and finds a guitar virtuoso in Randy Rhoads. And think about the first time you heard Blizzard of Oz, and you heard I Don't Know,
Yeah.
or the lead in Mr. Crowley, or the hook of Crazy Train. You're like, this is just as good as Sabbath.
Oh, 100%. I'll never forget my uncle giving me the record, and he was like, "Listen, just do me a favor. Don't play track number 4 in front of your mother." I'm like, "Okay." So what do? I play track number 4 in front of my mother. It was Suicide Solution.
What is a better album, Blizzard or Diary of a Madman?
Blizzard.
They're both great.
Blizzard, without a doubt. It's the first one, and he's got probably the most popular heavy metal song of all time on there. Everybody knows Crazy Train.
Yeah.
They played it
If
every
you've gone
goddamn.
to an arena, right?
Yeah, you go to a fucking concert, you go to a basketball game, they're playing it while they're warming up.
Right. Right.
Everybody and their mother knows. It's like everybody knows Welcome to the Jungle. There's like a handful of songs that, like, if you're not in that genre, people know it. Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Yeah.
So it's like there's like 5 or 6 songs that everybody and their mother knows. Crazy Train's one of them, so I gotta say the first album.
It's an argument for another day.
Yep.
All right, Sean. Well, listen, I'm sure I'll talk to you before that, but if not,
Yes.
we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy
You
New
as
Year.
well.
We were hoping Adam was going to come on, because we wanted to talk a little bit about his favorite artist of the year, which was Wet Leg.
Yeah, and here's what happened. I'm gonna break down the fourth wall here real quick before we go. Real quick. I make fun of Jeffrey a lot. I do. I make fun of him a lot. One of my favorite things in the world to do. It really truly is. Jeffrey's one of my dearest friends. He really is. He's not one of my favorite comics in the least bit. I mean, like I've
The
seen
fuck?
yeah, horrible comic, but one of my
Why am
dearest
I why
friends.
am I a horrible comic?
Oh, you just are. One of my dearest friends truly is.
You
I make
fucking
fun of him a
dickhead.
lot on the show, and it's an act sometimes. There's a lot of times where he really pushes my buttons, right? Adam sits there and he's like the voice of reason. He's like the buffer in between us sometimes. And then Adam texted me like a week and a half ago and was telling me about this amazing band Wet Leg. Now, I have never tried to finagle power of attorney. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get Adam committed to a fucking institution because he thinks this band is fucking good. It is the biggest pile of dog shit I have ever heard in my life. And I've heard Yoko Ono. It
It could
makes
be.
Yoko Ono sound like Stairway to Heaven.
It may be the only thing we agreed upon this year.
Yeah, it's horrible.
The critics love this
Basically,
band.
yeah, critics suck, number
They
one.
well agreed. And the song that stood out to me as particularly horrific is Chase Lounge.
Yes.
If you read like any of like the NPR, online reviews or anything like that, they can't get enough of this Chase Lounge. And it is the biggest pile of horseshit that you'll ever want to hear. It is so brutal. And
Yeah.
Adam loves these guys.
And
And
me
on
and
a
Adam love a lot of the same music, which scares me. So I was like, let me try this. And it was like I would rather I've seen some horrific things in my life, and I've had some pretty horrible traumatic things happen to me in my life. If I can go back in time, I would relive those just so I can stop Wet Leg from becoming a band.
Wet Leg. That's what we're going to end 2023 on. 2022. We're going to go into 2023 on. Is
Yeah.
talking about this band Wet Leg.
Fucking horrible. It
Uh,
disappointed me. Really,
uh,
truly disappointed me.
all right, folks. Listen, follow us on our socials. Continue to
Yes.
subscribe. We wish everybody a happy New Year and a Merry Christmas, and enjoy the holidays.
And
Everyone
Hanukkah.
and Hanukkah, and everyone just be safe.
Yes.
Okay, and we'll see you in 2023.
Later.
Goodbye, Sean. Goodbye, everybody.